our conversation this morning is still on cybersecurity because we want you to be aware, we want you to have an in-depth knowledge on what cybersecurity is all about.
And we have a guest on standby. His name is Eitemi Egbejile. He is an expert in reverse engineering, malware research. He writes codes and does other interesting things. Good morning, Eitemi. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay. All right. Our conversation this morning is on cybersecurity. I read your profile. Quite interesting. You're an expert in reverse engineering and malware research. Before we get into that conversation on cybersecurity, I'd like to know what exactly is reverse engineering?
Sorry?
What exactly is reverse engineering?
Oh, okay. So reverse engineering is a specific domain in cybersecurity that deals with having to tear apart software or hardware, depending on which, tear it apart, take it back. So from the finished product, try to understand what it does, see the code that runs in the background, and then tell what the application or software does. So most likely application of reverse engineering is in detecting malware in operations. So say you have a virus, which most people commonly refer to malware as have a virus, you want to know what it does on a computer or a device, do reverse engineering on it and try to see what it does, what the malicious code behind it does, how it was designed, and tell the malicious author's intentions from that.
Okay, all right, Eitemi, I would like you to educate us this morning. What is cybersecurity and how important, or why is it so important, in today's world?
Okay, so we all know anything, right? All our devices, computers, mobile phones are all connected to the internet, right? So cybersecurity is a part of information technology, like practice information technology that is concerned with providing security for applications, technologies, processes, controls, all these things concerned about these systems, networks, computers, and all the electronic data that they process. So think about the information you process on your mobile devices, your data contained on the social media sites, services, online transactions, and all that. Cybersecurity is about providing protection for all of this in entirety.
Why is it important for everyone to know about cybersecurity?
Back to the initial point I made about all our devices being connected, right?
Yes.
We literally have digital footprints across the internet, so it's easy for you to meet someone in real life profile, the online profile, right? And we've seen cases of identity theft arising where somebody's profile on, say, Twitter, for example, as a social media platform, has been cloned and used to catch other unsuspecting users. We've seen extortion attempts. We've seen a lot of important data and all that happen from a individual level to a corporate level. We've seen this happen across the board. So it's very important that all our information are appropriately secured. We don't have running to institutions where we have identity theft, loss of money, extortion, ransom, all that. Individual to corporate level. Then say, going to the bigger scale on a nationwide level, we use infrastructure, critical infrastructure like power plants, hospitals, services that power the country. So imagine if all financial services in the country gets hacked today and you can no longer make payments. You can't pay for your ride-hailing services. You can't pay for single tickets. You can't pay for food at the restaurants with your card. Imagine if all this happens. You can't make transactions. You can't do bank transfers. That would be disastrous, right, to the economy of the country. So yes, we need cybersecurity to ensure that this doesn't happen. So see cybersecurity as enabling businesses and enabling processes. Cybersecurity is there in place to ensure that businesses keep on running continuously without having to halt. There's business continuity in place. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, a lot of people use Android phones now. And in fact, I realized that sometimes for social media platforms, we now have a situation whereby you can use just one account to, log into other accounts. How dangerous is that? Because I've been hacked once, and that really made me start running helter-skelter, where I was able to use my mail to enter all of my social media accounts. And when I was hacked, every of my social media accounts was basically hacked, and I was running helter-skelter. Really, how dangerous is that?
I'm not sure I exactly got the question.
All right, so how dangerous is using one particular, your mail, yeah? It's right now, all social media accounts can be, you can enter your social media accounts with just an email. And you can use just one password. And I've had a situation whereby I did that and I was hacked, and it affected all of my social media accounts where they wanted to do, what's that thing called? Identity theft, and use my account for fraudulent activities. And a lot of people have suffered that kind of situation, a predicament. So how dangerous is it for anyone to do that right now?
Okay. I think I get what you mean now. So, a single student account, you have the same email and maybe the same password.
Yes.
Profiles, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, how do we address that? How do we prevent that from being a single point of failure? Okay. So, my advice would be to not have same passwords across multiple services. It's advisable to have multiple passwords. So the same way you wouldn't want to use the same PIN for your bank accounts for other services, you should have different passwords across multiple social media services online. So if you have email a@gmail.com for this service, and then your password. Now this, I should give an example on live TV, but. Having a password, a particular password for that email account and that service. For the next time you set up a service, you should have a totally different password associated with that service. So I'll give a particular story.
Okay.
In 2014, a particular service got hacked.
Okay.
And when the service got hacked, the details of usernames and passwords. So in 2012, details of usernames and passwords were dumped online. Right? So it was a social media site that was hacked. Usernames, passwords dumped online. And somebody in 2014, that happened in 2012. By 2014, somebody was looking through and then saw the particular email and password of a celebrity, who I won't mention his name as well, and went to the person's Twitter account and just decided to try the username and password, and it worked.
Wow.
2012 to 2014.
You see what?
I said from the activity was done in 2012, and this person found it in 2014.
Yeah. So because the person reused the same username and password across multiple services, and we saw a drop in the stock price of that particular person, that celebrity company, for that period of day.
Okay.
So best advice is to have different passwords for different services. Now, if you may struggle with remembering multiple passwords for multiple services, the best advice would be to have a password manager. So use the password manager. There are multiple password manager solutions available. Look for the one that suits your needs, that might be free or meets your exact need requirements. But just get a password manager, which could be easy to install on your phone. Just download the application from Play Store or Apple Store. Install on your phone, and then it helps to manage your password. So you don't have to remember multiple passwords for multiple services. By doing that, you have to isolate each service. And so if one service gets hacked, it is isolated from the other service. So you don't have one single point of failure across all your social media accounts or all all your connected services.
All right.
Okay. So your profile says that you're actually big on malware research. Now, I would like you to educate us this morning. What are the different, malwares that we have, and how can we identify them?
Okay. I'll try to not be too technical here.
Okay.
Okay. So you have different malware types, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think at this point we should make a distinction that I should say that malware is written specifically with the intention to harm or affect a computer or a device, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you break the malware is like the major family group. Then if you break it down, you now have other types like the viruses, Trojan horses, worms, spyware, and all that. These are other the broken down categories. So I'll give you a simple example of a spyware.
Okay.
So you install, let's say, on your Android phone, right? You install just like application, and when you install the application, you will see there's a page that will show permissions that are required for the application, and you see a success application saying it requires permissions to reach through your contacts.
Yeah.
Or it requires permissions to take photos, to access your camera and storage. Why should a touch-like application be requiring access to your contacts? So that is most likely a spyware application. It's designed to look harmless to handle the particular function you require, but in the background perform other operations like stealing your contacts, reading through your text messages, possibly to look for passwords or tokens or bank alert details.
Interesting.
So that is a spyware. It's an application designed to work harmlessly on the top level, but underneath it does other malicious actions. So we have hardware as well, applications that if one is the description, but they're more focused on showing you with adverts, multiple adverts, and you click on adverts that will generate income for whoever designs the particular malware. We have viruses as well. Their main function is to say affect your device, extract information. So it could be to steal your pictures and upload them to the malicious author. Yes. So these are several categories. But one say across mobile users, I'm going to use how to detect them, right? Across mobile users, one of the easiest ways to detect them is, like I've explained, the permissions that they require, that these applications require. That's one easy way, one way to detect all these malicious applications. Another thing is applications that install and try to install another application or send you with multiple ads. Those could possibly be malicious applications as well. On an organizational level, well, okay, individuals as well on your computers. The best way to try detecting malware is to have an antivirus solution in place.
All right.
Because you may not be as technical enough to want to find each malware, particular type of malware. So this is just an antivirus solution in place. Let that do the work of identifying the malware. So it identifies the malware and blocks it automatically. In combination, but go with what's work for you, or the antivirus solution that comes by default with Windows operating system or whatever operating system you use. Yeah. So that should help with identifying and filtering. If you have it turned on, the antivirus solution is turned on, and the recommended settings definitely would help to identify malicious attacks. So if you download the file that is possibly malicious, that should help you detect. On organizational level, organizations should have in place, well, antivirus solutions, endpoint detection solutions as well, that would help to protect their endpoint users, so endpoint devices, computers across the organizational network or servers, have something like that in place. It would help them to detect possible malicious attacks.
All right. Now, businesses are now, a lot of businesses are now online. Well, the pandemic has forced some people to do that because if they are not online, their businesses will probably go extinct. How can they be cyber secured? Because I mean, it would not be very nice if at the end of the day they're trying to make money and then somebody else is trying some fraudulent activities on their online accounts. How can businesses now see how they can be cyber secured?
I'm not able to answer the question correctly, so I'm going to try and repeat it. So how can we be secured in this age of working online, working remotely, and social distancing? How can we be secure from online threats?
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So there are multiple to mind as being secure with the age of with having to work remotely, having to work entirely from the internet. So yeah, most of online attacks are email-based attacks that will require you to click a link or download the file.
Yes.
So you get an email that says, from your bank, we're going to close down your account if you don't take so and so action. So click on this link and fill in your banking details so that you don't get suspended or you don't get money taken from your account. Right? So these attackers have found a way to elicit sympathy from people or to social engineering, where we try to switch off phone into email details using bit of information you need by the person. So that's our digital footprint across the internet, right? And at one point in time on Twitter, we've talked about big aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
On Facebook, we posted pictures, we put our home address to be. On Instagram, you've tagged a picture that shows your particular home address. So it's just, an attacker who is determined can go around all the social media profiles, pick pieces of information, and build up a profile, and then send you an email that says, from your bank, so and so, we have so information about you. We need you to update so and so information. Click on this link, fill in your username and password, and make the necessary changes.
Okay.
Your bank will not ask you for your password. Will never ask you for your password.
Yeah.
So you have to be conscious about that. You have to be conscious about that fact. And so you get an email requesting for you to on the link and fill in your banking details, you have to be extra careful. Or you get an email that says download some attachment, you have to check. So one thing to look at for is this email from an intended sender, somebody I've been corresponding with for a while. You look at the domain that the email is completely sent from. Does it correspond with an email you're familiar with? You check out for all these things. The page that I'm trying to enter banking details with, is it the same one I've been entering my bank details with before? If you get something like that, it's more advisable to instead go to your banking platform itself directly, or call your banking reps, your customer care, your bank representative, and ask for further details before you put your banking details into a suspicious form. That's one. Yeah. Also, these attackers are taking the game up a little bit, and now they do phone calls.
Okay.
Most people are familiar with the phone calls referred to as phishing, voice phishing, and they will call you, give you a piece of information about you, like maybe your bank account number, your bank say, we notice you have an account to so and so bank.
Yeah.
We want to update your information, your BVN or your card details, right? But if you're looking at one point in time, posting your account for a giveaway,
okay,
the attacker already has that information. He knows your name, knows the bit of information about you, and makes it feel like it's asking from your bank. Please do not give out sensitive information over phone. And that is your bank will never have to sensitive information over phone. So if you're not sure of the information you provide, walk into your bank or as well call your bank's representative. Those are steps that will help you to mitigate risk of being compromised on the internet. There are a lot of other things we could talk about if time would permit.